Hi, welcome to another video tutorial, and in this video I will be taking you through my thought process on what my expectations are on the GBP USD. Well, this is going to be a follow-up video to my previous analysis on this pair where we were also able to make some profit on the GBP USD. Talking about follow-ups here, I would like to share with you some key moments that we had during the course of last week. Well, at the beginning of the week, we identified the channel between the 1.20650 level and the 1.20350 area where we said we shall be looking out for trading opportunity at either a breakout or breakdown of this channel. And in fact, we saw a situation where price continued to climb to the high side, breaking out of that resistance point that we identified earlier at the 1.20650 to continue to push price to the upside. Then we also had another position at the breakout of the 1.2100 level, and we continue to ride that move to the upside. In fact, it was a bullish momentum at the first day of the week, and we saw another situation where price broke out of that structure at the 1.21500 level to add another position to our existing trade. So things went on like this through the course of the week. Then we also had another breakout of the 1.21950 level, and we were hoping that price might get to as far as the 1.22500. However, we saw the sharp rejection of the 1.22500, and then we were taken out of our position. And this was the volatility you see here was as a result of the CPI event that was on the 14th, which took us out of the buy position with some significant profits anyway. And then we did some resets to join another trading opportunity. And then when we cited the selling pressure on this area, we anticipated a breakdown of the 1.21950 here that was following the CPI here. I told you that if price ever drops below the 1.21950 level, we want to be joining a decline to the downside. And this was exactly what happened. We identified structures where we want to be adding more positions. And it was a very profitable week for us, anyways. And we rode the move all the way down. So it was profitable trade for everyone who was part of this commentary during the course of last week. And if you want to see in detail how we took advantage of those opportunities here, I will be dropping the link to those commentaries in the comment section of this video. And if you are watching from my YouTube channel, you will be seeing the link to this commentary at the top right hand side of your screen. So with that being said here, I want to dive right back into the chart where we want to be taking a fresh new perspective into what our expectation is going to be like for this new week. Well, if we look at the daily time frame here and take a second back into what has been happening around the structure since the month of November last year, one thing that is very significant is the fact that price has been caught within a channel between the 1.24500 level. This is the resistance point for the channel. And then we have the support level for this channel sitting between the 1.200 level here and the 1.1900 area. And another thing I would like to call our attention to here is the fact that price is back into that zone where it started the new year. Remember, price action started in the new year around the 1.190 level. We saw rejection of the 1.22450 level during the third, fourth, fifth week of last month. We saw price break down that bullish trend line. Remember that we had this strong bullish trend line which has been supporting bullish momentum since the month of September here. If you remember vividly, I shared this at the beginning of the year. And with the breakdown of that bullish trend line here around the 1.2 to 450, 2 to 400, sorry, we saw price action drop back into that structure where it started the new year. And with the look of things at this point, you would agree with me that we are at a critical point in this market where we need to see how price action is going to be reacting to this level to decide what our next line of action will be. Another thing I would like to state here is that between the 1.200 level and the 1.19 area has been a strong buying niche in this market. As you can see, since the break above of this level in the month of November, we saw how every attempt by the sellers to break down the structure has been negated by buying pressure at every single moment. And during the course of the last couple of weeks now, also, we saw that price is yet to come into that structure, hereby giving us a higher low. And at this point, and considering the fact that we are within a strong buying zone here, I'm of the opinion that we should take into consideration a possible bullish momentum from this level. So, if the week starts on the bullish note, that is, if we start seeing buy pressure right above the 1.200 level, we might not have any other choice than to join this rally to the upside, with the hopes that price will get to as far as probably the 1.22400 level, or could go as far as the 24500 area. And one thing also we should take note of is the fact that since the breakdown of this bullish trend line, price is yet to come back and do a retest of that structure. And you all know that from a technical standpoint, whenever we have a breakdown of a structure like this, we expect that one point in time there is a tendency that price will come back, do a retest of that structure to incite another wave of bearish momentum. So if we take all these possible scenarios into consideration, we shouldn't ignore the possibilities of a counter trend opportunity around this area, probably into the structure before another wave of bearish momentum will happen. However, if the contrary happens here, and instead price action drops below the 1.1900 area, taking out all the buy position that is here, then this might likely be a beautiful bearish signal for us to take advantage of a selling opportunity on the GBP USD. So with the information we have gathered here on the daily time frame, it's like I said, it's important that we really do understand how price action will be reacting to the structure to determine what our next line of action will be. And in that regard, I want us to scale down to a much lower time frame where we are going to be looking forward to see how to position ourselves so that we can take advantage of any trading opportunity during this week. But before I scale down into the lower time frame, I would like us to look at the economic calendar as we have some macroeconomic events to look forward to. And obviously, this events has a tendency of bringing liquidity into the market to drive price movement. And if we go into the economic calendar here, we are going to be focusing on macroeconomic events that will be affecting the pound and the US dollar. Now, the first event will be coming up on Tuesday, that's the 21st of this month, and we have the publication from the S&P Global. We have the CIPS Services PMI, and from the look of things here, the previous data came in at 48.7, and what we have as a consensus is 48.3. So that's a little deep into that. So we might likely be seeing a negative variance in that regard, but we shall keep our fingers crossed as we look forward to see what data will be coming in on that day. If it's going to be above beyond expectation, below expectation, or coming as expected. Then we also have on Wednesday the FOMC minute, another high impact event. Then on Thursday, we have the gross domestic product annualized for quarter four, and we can see what we have here. The previous data and the consensus are quite the same. So we shall definitely be looking forward to see how participants in this market will be anticipating these events, and obviously we shall be seeing the reflection of this anticipation on the chart as price action. So with that being said here, I will want to take you back into the lower time frame where I said I was able to identify some simple setups which I said we can use to guide and position ourselves to catch any trading opportunity on the GBPUSD. Now, if we zoom out a little further here and look at what has been happening here since the second week of the month of January, you will notice that there is something that looks like a descending channel here. So after connecting the series of lower highs here, we have the resistant point of the channel. And if we connect the series of higher lows, lower lows rather, you will see that we have a support level for that descending channel figured out at this point. So it's more like a bearish momentum really on this one in the last 4 to 5 months here. However, there is something that caught my attention, and that is the fact that remember we had the demand zone identified on the daily time frame. And another thing here is that the lowest point price has ever been this year is the 1.18500 level. And what you can see here afterwards is the fact that price has been unable to break this previous low, as every attempt by the sellers to go further down has been negated by buying attempt here. So we saw the first rejection here during the first week of this month, and during the course of last week's trading session, we saw another bullish momentum resume again right along the support level of that descending channel to further emphasize the strength of the buyers at this point. And if we take all this into consideration, you would agree with me that we might likely be on the verge of a bullish momentum for this week. And what we saw here is that price action closed the week at the 1.20500 level, a level which has been a strong determinant of price action at least since the beginning of this month. Though from this level, it has been more of selling pressure from the structure, though we had some attempt by the buyers to break out of the structure at one point. We had this level also serving as a buying niche, but as soon as we saw the breakdown here last week, we saw another breakdown here. Price is back into the structure. And one thing we want to be doing during the new week is to see how price action will be reacting to the structure to determine what our next line of action will be. So if we continue to see bullish momentum around this area, probably in such a way that price action breaks out of the 1.20500 level, we might likely be getting ready for another wave of bullish momentum. However, if selling pressure resumes below this area, well, it is going to be very tricky to be joining the sell momentum from this area, considering the fact that we have a very strong demand zone around this area. So if it depends on what happened at the beginning of the week and depending on the fundamentals for this week, will determine if we will be joining a sell momentum at this area. But let's, for me, looking at it from a long-term perspective, I would prefer that price action breaks down this demand zone here, taking out all the buy position here, give us some liquidity, which will be reflected on the chart as selling pressure below the structure, then we could actually join that decline to the downside from that level. But it's okay, we shall be monitoring what is going to be happening during the early hours of the week to determine what our next line of action will be. So at this point, I would like to pause the video here as we look forward to see what happens around the structure. But be rest assured that I will be jumping right in the comment section to give you an update on what my expectation will be after monitoring how participants in this market will be reacting to the 1.20500 level during the early hours of the new week. I hope this video has been of immense help in making your personal decision on the GBPUSD, and if it did, kindly support this project by clicking the like button. You would also want to follow me on my TradingView platform at Darksherry, spelled DARCSHERRY, so that you can be part of the daily commentaries I normally share in the comment section of all of my videos. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the comment section on Monday as we get prepared for the new week. Do have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.